I spoke to Jake many years ago and told him exactly where he stands when Brett Hodgson was a coach of Hull, and I spoke to him again. And the insinuations from Kearney really, really off. I don't like it.
Hello and welcome to Back 10 by All Out Rugby League, powered by Smart Energy GB, leading the smart meter rollout across Great Britain. With a smart meter, you can tackle your energy use head on and find smarter ways to save at home. Now, it's a big day in the world of rugby league and we have a big guest too. The Ashes is very much coming up, and to join us to talk us through a big announcement today, the England squad, we have none other than head coach Shaun Wane. Wane, how are you?
Yeah, good, Matt. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
It's been a big day. How do you feel to finally get the squad named and have everyone stop asking you who's in, who's out?
Yeah, that's a fair point. It's good. Yesterday was a tough day. You know, I spent all day on the phone ringing physios, who's fit and who's not fit, and dealing with my staff and ringing players and informing them if they're in or if they're not in. So it was a difficult day yesterday. Wasn't the best, it was long, but now the squad's out. I feel a lot better. We can move on and crack on with a good week.
Well, we're certainly going to ask Shaun plenty of questions about his squad in the next 20 minutes or so. But if you haven't done already, please remember to like and subscribe and hit that hype button. Kyle tells you every week how to do it. Just have a scroll, click hype, and then you will really help us reach wider audiences. But for now, let's get into the show. Well, we are here for one reason and one reason only, and that is to talk the Ashes and specifically England's squad to take on Australia. The Kangaroos coming over for a 3-test series. It's going to be an epic battle, and Wayne, you've been waiting for it for a long time. When you got the job, I know the World Cup would be top. Ashes was surely a very, very close, maybe even to a World Cup.
Yeah, I'd say it was even. I got the job in 2020 and the one what caught me out was the Ashes. And so that was really exciting. Then obviously COVID hit, everything got cancelled, which was unfortunate, but now it's back on. Credit to the RL Commercial and the RFL and the NRL for getting this series on. It's obviously created a lot of interest when you look at the attendances, and the grounds got sold out. So what I would say to everybody is make sure you get your ticket and make sure Wembley's really, really intense, and it's a tough place for them to come to.
Already 50,000 tickets sold. You can still get them now. As you mentioned, you nearly got one of these right at the start. If I cast your mind back to then, how gutting was it when the Ashes got cancelled and you knew that wait was going to go on quite a long time?
Yeah, I'm not one for dwelling on things, Matt. I don't. It's just the way it is. There were lots of problems in the world at the time with COVID and the war getting closed down. I knew I'd get a chance somewhere along the line. I knew we'd come out of COVID, and we've done that. So I'm very much about what I can control, and decisions have been made out of my hands. So, and that's the way I thought about it. It was just, how do I get better as a coach in that period? Now we've come out of it. The games are back on. We've had 2 fantastic series against Tonga and Samoa, and everybody said we couldn't win them, and we won both series. And everybody's saying we can't win this. So we'll see how we go in the next few weeks.
They've already had a little bit of a moan about the flight times. Did that crack a smile from your side? The excuses getting in already, maybe? Or
Yeah. We've all flown business class, and it's very easy, no matter what time you arrive. And they'll have very, very educated sports scientists in that squad, Australia. So they'll be judging when they can sleep, how they can sleep, all the times, all the details. So arriving at night won't really affect them. But I've heard they've had a moan about it, but I can tell you deep down it won't matter.
Let's get into your squad. It's always something that's well talked about. You get asked about it every month by the press. I'm imagining every week on the phones from the coaches and whoever else. You've now named it. Now, what I don't want to do is spend the next 15, 20 minutes going through every player. Why did you pick him? Why did you not? But what I do want to do is get into your mind of what you were looking for from players in different positions, which may help to explain why you've picked certain players over others. So if we go, I want to start in the outside backs. So I'm looking at your wingers, and you've got Dom Young, Tom Johnston's in there, Joe Burgess is in there. Very athletic wingers, very good in the air, compared to maybe a Tom Davies, who many thought may get a shot, who's a very good in backfield, but maybe not as good aerially. I'm looking at you're looking for wingers who are going to be good in the air under the high kicks. Is that the big thinking behind those selections?
Yeah, you should be a coach. Yeah, that is it.
Join if you want.
That is it. Marsh is a good player. Tom Davies is a really good player, and there's no doubt about that. They're an asset. But I looked at you look at the coach and the players they've got potential on the wings, and the aerial threat they pose. It's so important to us, and that's why we went the way we went. And they're playing well. Dom Young has had a tough year. But he's done things for me in the past, and I'm the credits in the bank will carry a fair way with me, and not all the way, but a fair way. And Dom's done that. He's done some really good things. And when I spoke to him on the phone, he was so excited to play for England again, and that convinced me that he needs to be in.
How do you get the balance right of having the people who can deal with those aerial battles, but also getting your set starting well? Because you need to get out of backfield. It's a backfield game now, isn't it? So are you confident you've got that in the outside backs as well?
Yeah. And when you're looking at outside backs in the modern game, the main thing is your yardage carries. Like exactly what you said. And you need to get momentum. And all three players carry the ball out. So does Marsh, so does Tom Davies. But that is number one. You need to get our set started. And then after that, you need to finish. You need to finish and finish well. You need to defend and make sure you make your one-on-ones, all them sort of things. But a priority is what we do well. The aerial threat of all three wingers is huge. Mm-hmm. And, so hopefully Australia will be clipping them and showing that how much of a threat they are. And all three players are great attributes and things I like in the game, and but we're very blessed when you've got people like Tom Davies, you've got Matty Ashton and Marshy and people like that. But I'm happy with the three I picked.
You spoke a couple of weeks ago about Ash Hanley, and now you'd love to have him in, but he's had that groin, hasn't he? He can also play centre, as he's proven this season. In your centres, you've got Herbie Farnworth, Jake Wardle. Any concerns about depth in that? Sod's Law, one of them goes down game one. Is that a concern at all, or are you okay with what you've got across the squad?
One thing I've done here, Matt, is hopefully pick multiple players who can play a couple of positions. I had a chat many months ago with our doctor, Doc Brooks, Professor Brooks, our chairman at Wigan, and he's been around a long time. He's been in lots of international camps, and one thing he said to me is, "This is brutal. This is war." For 3 games, and you're going to lose players, and it could come down to who can turn the best team out in the last game, and so having the ability of playing players what can play multiple positions is really important, and I've took that on board. I totally get it, and hopefully there's a great blend, and if anything goes wrong within the squad, we can fix it.
One of the eye-catching selections is AJ Brimson, but he's got that versatility, right? Was that the big appeal of him, or do you see him actually starting? Is he good enough to play at 1, at 6, at 7? His
best position is fullback, mm-hmm. and Jack Welsby is a great player for me. But AJ's he's a member of a 24-man squad, but he's going to add things, and he could come off the bench. He can play anywhere, and he's so quick. He's done a great job for the Titans and stood out. Looks like an England player. And so he's going to be an asset to us. Whether he's going to start or not, it depends. Well, but Jack Welby is my man. He's done a lot of good things for me for long periods.
I know that you won't tell me you start in halfback combination, but can we get into the getting the right combination? Because everyone's got an opinion on this. Some think it should be Lewis and Smith. Some think it should be Williams and Lewis. Some think it should be Williams and Smith. Right? Everyone's got their own opinion. What are you looking for from a halfback partnership in terms of the attributes they're going to bring, generally from what you want as a coach, but specifically playing against Australia?
Yeah. So I need an half what can organise sets. I need an half who can take opportunities, who can run. I need an half who's got a good kicking game. And the importance of having an half who's a left-footed kicker on the left side of the field, so the markers are chasing longer, things like that is really, really important. One thing that's in our favour is the weather. It's in our country and the weather's poor at this time of year. So the kicking game is absolutely so vital to make sure that they're coming off their end. And one thing about Micah is his kicking game is improved.
Yep.
His kicking meters are up there with Harry's. So that's a great thing I've got. I'm not really 100% on the way I'm going to go yet, but I like the attributes of all the halves. George, I've had George since he was 13, and he's always done really good things and played well in so many big games and won lots of big games for me. So he's had a tough year, George. But I know when he pulls an England jersey on and the spirit we've got in the team, he's like a different person. When we start training this week and George is in with the likes of Mikey and Harry and Herbie, he's like a different person. He changes into somebody else, and I know that. And everybody who you say has got an opinion of who we should pick. They don't know the stuff I see on the training ground and the conversation what I have and the conversation with medical people. There's lots and lots of complicated things that have gone beyond this 24-man squad, and people who have been left out and people who are in the squad. So nothing straightforward about it. But from an halves point of view, we've got three halves who are super talented. I love 8, and like Australia have, but we're not in that position. But the three halves have got really competitive, all got great attributes.
If I'm decoding that, then I'm probably going George Williams plays and it's one of Smith or Lewis.
Yeah, George will play.
So let me ask you this about Mikey, because his kicking game's undeniably got better.
Yeah.
Does his performance at Old Trafford at the weekend make this a harder decision for you than maybe it was 48 hours ago when he hadn't put that appearance on?
Absolutely. There's no doubt about that. I thought he managed it. One thing about Mikey is he's winning big games. Okay, I've played a lot of big games. They played semi-finals against us and they played in finals and he's not managed the game. Lots of people think he played well, but I look at it very differently. And he's not managed the game as good as I wanted. At the weekend, he managed it really well, which is really important. And that did change my mind. That has given me a thought process that he could start and Harry could start. I'd be confident with both players.
The one player I do have to ask you about who's not in, well, one of them, Jake Connor. I think you must have been asked about him a million times by now, and
more than that,
and you're probably sick to death of it. How close was he? Was he ever a consideration to get in this squad based on his form, or had you just not seen enough to convince you that he was ready to go in above George, Harry, Mikey?
Yeah. Al Walmsley wasn't in the squad, and he's in the 24. So lots of players have been in consideration for the squad, and I kept saying that all along, that I'm looking at everybody, and I've looked at Jake, and he's a really good player, but there's things in his game what needs to improve, like there is Mikey and Harry and George. And I had a chat to him again last week, and his attitude on the phone was fantastic, and he got the World Cup. If he kills it next year and manages big games the way I expect an England player to, then he'll be in for a shout for being in that World Cup squad. So I've been completely transparent with him, and I know Carney's trying to make something which I found insulting from him. about me and Jake, insulting, and I didn't take it well. But I'll tell you now, I spoke to Jake many years ago and told him exactly where he stands when Brett Hodgson was a coach of Hull, and I spoke to him again. And the insinuations from Kearney really pissed me off. I don't like it, and it still pisses me off. But as long as Jake knows, and I know where he stands, then that's the most important thing.
Jake, as a person, you've had those conversations with him.
Yeah.
And you said he's impressed you.
Yeah.
That's it, because the conception can be his attitude and this and that. From what you're saying, it's actually not. It's not that at all.
A little bit. When I spoke to him many years ago, when Brett Hodgson asked me to ring him, I did mention his petulance at times, and I know that's because he's really competitive.
Yeah.
I get that, but I'm a funny coach. I need to see certain things. I don't like it. I like him concentrating on his game. Brad Arthur, he's done a great job with him and changed him into the player he is now, and he's a lot closer to playing for England. So all credit to Leeds and Brad Arthur and what they've done, and Jake himself. So I can't say anymore. He's being looked at. I don't see him as being above them three I picked in an international setup at the minute.
It's gone to the pack. And the middle unit particularly. Is there anything different you need from the players that you pick in the middle against the Australians compared to Tonga and Samoa?
Good question. It is different, this. They're different bodies. We've got big Tongans, big Samoans, very hard to handle, 120 kilos, big athletic men. Whereas now it's teams similar to our size, very athletic. And so it does change your personnel. It definitely does that. And that's gone into the team we've picked. All that's been talked about. The amount of detail what me, Andy Lass, Lee Breers and Sam Tompkins go into, along with all the medical people in the Super League clubs, along with all the sports scientists talking about GPS. There's so much detail. So somebody will look at the squad and blurt out their thoughts, but they don't know the amount of things what go into that selection.
I was going to say, because I know in Trout he's one of the modern forwards, isn't he? Very athletic.
Yeah.
I know he brings the versatility as well. I thought that was probably one of the eye-catching selections for me, because he's a different type of player to maybe what we saw against Tonga Samoa, where Chris Hill would play, who brings extra size. So it felt like, yes, form comes into it and quality, but refined what you need from your players. Right?
Well, I like fast twitch players. So like your Ben Flower, fast twitch, sprinter, run hard, athletic, tough, aggressive, and Owen Trout's that. He's confrontational. He makes his one-on-ones. When you watch Lee, he stands out. He looks like an England player, which is what I've said to the players. Every time we do an off-feet session, I mention that to the players. You need to look like an England player. He does that, Owen. And the call I made to him yesterday was so emotional, and he was like super excited to be named. I don't think he expected it, weirdly. But the chance for me to ring him and say you're in was so enjoyable.
And how pleased you to bring Big Al back in? Because he has earned it.
Oh yeah, he's earned it. Do you know what? And this is something else what people might not understand is, you look at every big game Saints have played this year. He stood out. He's run hard. He's been smashed to pieces. He gets up. He smashes people, and he carries on and on and on. I think he's been outstanding, and he's a really good person. So in and around the place, in the squad with the players, he's respectful. But when it comes to game time, he loves it. So I was so chuffed with him. He's a great asset to us.
Given the leg drive and stuff like that, Luke Thompson would have seemed like a strong candidate. He's not in. Explain the thought process behind leaving him out.
I'm a massive Luke Thompson fan. At the start of the year, he was the best front row in the comp. He got injured, come back, and he's not hit them levels again. Although he played okay, he's not hit the England levels. So I've left him out and had a conversation with him. He understands. He gets the reasons why. He trusts me. Every player I spoke to, they understand my decision because they know it's come from the right place.
The hookers was a fascinating one because probably 4, wasn't there? There was Jez and Daz Clark who you've gone with, but there's Danny Walker and Brad O'Neill. And I mean, Brad is like the international style hooker, isn't he? He tackles all day. So I think if we start on Brad, why Daz and Jez over Brad and Danny?
Well, I think Willie Peters and Ulkie have done a great job with Jez. A couple of years ago, it wasn't in my radar because of like certain technical things, and that's been fixed. Willie's done a great job with him, and now I think he's been the best man in the competition. I think Daz Clark was outstanding against Tonga and Samoa. I thought he's played really, really well for me. I love coaching him. I like a nan who can see markers not score and go. There's nobody better than Daz Clark at doing that. Physically, how he handled the bigger forwards from Samoa and Tonga was outstanding. So there's no problem with his D, and that's why them two got picked. I think they've both been the best nan. Regarding Brad, really good player, very, very physical, defends like a middle, another front rower because he's so big. But he's got areas where he needs to improve very, very quickly, technical areas. And that's another thing what people don't understand. I'm not going to dig Brad out, but there's urgent areas what he needs to get better at. One thing about him, he wants to improve, and I'm sure leading up to the World Cup, he'll fix that and come back a stronger player.
How hard was it to leave Danny Walker out, given how long because he's been in camp actually for a while, hasn't he? Training with George, with Warrington missing out. Was it difficult to then leave him out?
Yeah, I mean, it's professional sport, this, Matt, and it's and to people on the outside, it might seem very, very harsh. When I'm watching him train, mixed with the lads, he's such a good character. I love him to pieces. It was probably my toughest phone call yesterday. I taped it, videoed it, and his response was typical Danny Walker, so supportive of the England cause and not putting himself first. Like completely took on board what I was saying, but that was an hard one because I like what he does. I like a lot what he does, but I just thought Daz Clark and Jez had the edge on him.
In your back row, there's probably not an obvious type of back row. You've got 3 very different styles. What's the thinking there then in terms of technically what you wanted him to bring, or was this more purely form and trust with what you said about John Bateman?
Yeah, form and trust. There's certain things I want from my back row. I want my back row to punch. I want them to put 3-man, the third in defender under pressure. That's what back rows do, and they run unders lines and out lines, and they're attacking the way they attack. I want them to create things. I want to be able to play, which John Bateman does. Kai's very, very good at that, and so we've got some really, really good back rows. We've got players like Owen Trout who can play in the back row, played there for Lee, so we've got lots of cover there as well. I'm very happy. Kai had something different. John Bateman's done a lot of stuff for me. He's been at a tough year with the Cowboys. He's not been in great form, but I know when he puts an England jersey on, he's a different person.
I wanted to ask you about the credit in the bank thing, because a lot of people, whenever they see a squad, they go, he's not been playing well, there's someone been playing better, he shouldn't be in the squad. I always think or wonder for an international coach, it must be very difficult because you've had these guys for so long and you know them, you trust them. Is there a sense of you taking a gamble on the informed guy you've not had in camp before, whereas a guy like a John Bateman who's maybe not had his best season, there's the trust and do you know what I'm getting at?
I am a gambler and I would take risks, and I do give a lot of trust to players, and I've never caught no harm with that, and I've done it at Wigan when people have been injured, and Shaun Wane had been out for 10 weeks, and everybody told me not to pick him in the final. He played and killed it. So once a player knows that he has your trust, he'll give everything for you, and that's the spirit we've built here. It's not like an England team. Our massive strength here, Matt, is it's not like an international team. It's like the closeness of the players, and I'm not exaggerating. You can ask the players. The most positive things I've had said to me, and I've had many things said to me, all of them positive from the players what's been in these camps with us, is that not me, everybody, all my staff create a spirit of a club team. It's not international. It's not like Wigan and Saints and Leeds and Hull KR. It's just one cause. We're all obsessed about one thing, and that's winning Ashes. And that honesty, what we have with the players, helps that massively.
Just want to quickly touch on the Australians. We've not spoke about them at all. Everyone's saying it's a team full of superstars. How do England win? We've been here before, haven't we, with Tonga and Samoa? It's been the same conversation. Yeah. Does it annoy you that it's the star-studded Australians v England? That's the narrative. It's not star-studded Australia v star-studded England.
I love it. I like the fact that people that there's not many people in this country who think we can win. But I will be honest with you, the people in the room when the players get together, and the things we're going to do, what we're going to create, and the connection we're going to build, them players will be 100% knowing that we can win this Test series, and that's the most important thing. So the fact that nobody in the NRL thinks we'll come anywhere near them. I will say this, that we need to be really good. So 15 of our 17 probably need to have the best ever game, but they're capable of that. And what I would say is Australia need to be good as well. We're going to come after them. They're going to come after us. It's got the makings of a brutal test and a proper England versus Australian test. But I tell you now, we'll be having a proper dig at them. There's no doubt about that in my mind.
Last question: Do you use the fact that no one's really giving you a chance as motivation to the group?
Yeah, absolutely. Samoa and Tonga, the World Cup, nobody thought we could beat. I remember, my memory is very, very good. I've been concussed 90 times in my life, but my memory is super good. And I remember leading up to Samoa when we played Newcastle in the World Cup, and I mean everybody. And there wasn't one person who thought we could win that game, and we put 60 on them. They turned us over in the semi-final. I get it, but nobody gave us a chance. They don't realise how good of a spirit we have within this camp, and hopefully you see the best of us at Wembley in a couple of weeks' time.
Shaun, it's been a pleasure.
Jim, I've enjoyed it.
I'm glad you did.
Good questions, then.
I thought you'd have got fed up with all these.
No, I like it. I like when you challenge me, make me think a bit. I enjoyed that.
Well, there's audition for me passed, so because that's the first one. Kyle's not getting his job back now, so we'll blame you. Thanks to Shaun. Thank you to the RFL and RL Commercial for setting this up as well. It's been great to sit down and chat. Don't forget, if you've not already got your tickets for Wembley, that's the only place you can get tickets now. Headingley sold out, Everton sold out, Wembley 50,000 already. You are going to want to be there. It is unmissable. It is an unmissable game of rugby league. But that is full time from Back 10 from All Out Rugby League, powered by Smart Energy GB, the team helping households across Great Britain take control of their energy use with smart meters. A smart meter lets you see exactly how much energy you're using so you can save where it matters. Until next time, we'll see you soon.